What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we got a reaction to Chris Isaak and his album Forever Blue, brought to us by friend, longtime supporter, and patron of the channel, Robert. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the patrons who make this thing go. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out the Patreon link below, the Patreon link on the end screen. We couldn't do it without the patrons who put up videos every single day. All right, we're going to jump into this thing. I know Wicked Game, obviously, from Chris Isaak, growing up in the time, the video. I've seen him in a few things when he acted back in the day. Probably heard a couple other songs of his, but not much. Always seemed like a cool guy, like a nice guy. So really looking forward to this one. I don't think I've ever done anything Chris Isaak. I know I haven't done songs or anything. He might have appeared in a top 10. Something in my brain's telling me that, but I'm not exactly positive. But we got like 2,300 videos, so after a little while, it gets a little fuzzy. But a little bit about Chris. I mean, he had 13 studio albums. This one is his 5th studio album, released in May of '95. Number 2 in Australia, 7 in New Zealand, 27 in the UK, 31 in the US. In '96, it was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Rock Album. It lost out to, as everyone else did at that time, Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, which was bigger than anything in 1996. Chris wrote all of these songs. There's not a lot of research on this thing. I mean, I read a couple of reviews of it just to see if anybody had any more background. Couldn't find interviews Chris did about it. So we're just going to kind of go through the songs, and we're going to unwind them that way. Now, if you've never been here before, the music will not be in the video, but it will be at a Vimeo link below. So just click on that link. Follow along with me if you want to hear the music. If you already know it and just want to see what I have to say, just stick around right here. We're going to start off with the album opener, Baby Did a Bad Thing. It was a single, but it was featured in Stanley Kubrick's final film, Eyes Wide Shut, of course, with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, which was 4 years later. So that's when this song really hit. I'm going to have the lyrics up as always. Thanks again, Robert. Baby Did a Bad Thing, man. Did not expect that. The guitar work on here was fantastic, right? And Chris singing in kind of a different vocal range at times, and then hitting that, his voice is fantastic. But just a dark underlying theme to this, man. I really enjoyed it. Like, you feel the emotion, right? Because Baby did a bad thing. He's telling you this girl cheated on him is exactly what I think he's telling you here. And, you ever pray and just watch her walk away while you're crying, just those kinds of things. Just tremendous lyricism, but tremendous arrangement. So Chris did all the music. He did all the composing as well as the lyrics. Always impressive when an artist can pull that off. Great way to start this album. Next up, we have Somebody's Crying. It was a single. It was nominated for a Grammy. This is the one I think I know. I mean, I would bet I know this song, but I'm not positive. All right, Somebody's Crying. Just a fantastic song. I did know this song. I don't know it a ton. I wasn't listening to a ton of music at this time because it started my career. Trey was just born, my son, who's my partner in crime on this channel. So, there wasn't a lot of time to listen to music. We didn't have Spotify, boys and girls. I couldn't just pop up any song I wanted whenever I wanted. So you're basically MTV buying the CD or hoping that your local radio station played some. And I've lived in a place where the radio station was horrible. So anyway, I do know it, but not tremendously. Really well written song. Before I even get into the vocal performance, he starts out, I know somebody and they cry for you. They lie awake at night and dream of you. I bet you've never even know they do, but somebody's crying. I know somebody and they called your name 1,000,000 times and still you never came. They go on loving you just the same. I know that somebody's trying. In the chorus, so please, and he hits that falsetto, right? That high register. Return the love you took from me. So it's him. Oh, please let me know if it can't be me. So verse 2, give me a sign and let me know if we're through. If you don't love me like I love you. But if you cry at night like I do, I know that somebody's lying. So he loves her. He guesses she doesn't even know how strongly he feels, but he wants her to let him go if it can't be, right? I think a lot of us have been stuck in those things where you care about somebody more than they care for you, but they don't release you, so you can't kind of let those feelings go. So that's what he's asking her to do. The vocal performance is fantastic. And if you played this song and told me it's Roy Orbison, I'd be like, yeah, it is. And that is one heck of a high compliment. So tremendous performance. Next up, we have Graduation Day. It was a single as well. It was featured in the 1996 film Beautiful Girls. Graduation Day, great song. A little tinge of country at the start, almost like a steel pedal. I mean, not almost like it probably was. But one thing I like about Chris, he's very emotive, like without going over the top, but you can feel the pain in his voice. Like he's just a master at making you feel the emotion. And, I don't know if Graduation Day could be indicative of two different things, right? Graduation day, a literal graduation day, high school graduation, college graduation, whatever. You're dating somebody, but now you're both going your separate ways. Or just graduation day into heartbreak and they're like, I've never had this before. Now I get it. Because driving slowly, watching the headlights in the rain, funny how things change. Think of the good times, wishing you were still with me the way it used to be. Graduation day. Thinking, and then the chorus, thinking of a time when everything was right, thinking of a time with only you and I, makes me sorry that it had to end that way. Learn my lesson now. There's nothing left to say. Graduation day, oh, graduation day, which makes me think he's writing more like, I learned a lesson. Here's my graduation day. It's a heartbreak, but he's 3 for 3, man. Fantastic song. Now, I couldn't find anything on any of the rest of these songs, but he's such a good songwriter. It's pretty easy to figure out what they're at. We got Go Walking Down There. All right, Go Walking Down There. Much more driving on the guitar and just the whole arrangement just drives you through it. But yeah, great guitar. It's a little bit of backing vocals on there. Basically, he goes walking down there. He doesn't have anything left, so I imagine his love left him. But, you know, he's kind of jealous of those people that kind of do have their dreams still intact, that go walking down there. But I thought the arrangement was very interesting, different than anything in the first 3, a much more driving song. Next up, we have Don't Leave Me on My Own. All right, Don't Leave Me on My Own. A little more subdued, a little more country, not real country or anything like that. I don't know how I would genre specific this thing, but Don't Leave Me on My Own. So it's she left him, he's crying. You know, there's a lot of crying on this album for poor Chris. But, you know, well done. Hits that high range in his voice again, another Roy Orbison type thing, but just really well done. Really good story. One thing I like about this album, I really like, is all his songs are shorter. Longer songs are fine, but they sometimes wear on me, right? If you notice that it's long. It's like this thing could have been 2 minutes shorter. So definitely like that about these. They don't overstay their welcome, but still tells a good story. Next one, Things Go Wrong. All right, Things Go Wrong. So the relationship hasn't been fantastic, right? Or something. Maybe it's just something little. Who knows? Something went wrong, and now she's leaving him, and he's like, I still love you. Things go wrong, but it doesn't mean we're through. So, I mean, I've been with people way back in the day who, one thing goes wrong, they want perfection, right? And that's it. It's over. So really good song there. Good instrumentation. I'm not going to, well, I probably am going to keep belaboring this point. He sounds so much like Roy Orbison at times. It's uncanny. Next up, we have Forever Blue. Just a little acoustic version, Forever Blue. I mean, I'm guessing Chris might have went through a bad breakup. I know that's not some sort of insightful thing here. When he wrote this album, because these songs are so, I mean, they're just so sad. Like, she's gone. This one has some, I mean, they all have good lyricism, but good acoustic work. And I do want to point out, and I'll talk about this at the end of the album, we're barely halfway through it, but just to, you know, remember Chris wrote the arrangements for this too. So he wrote the music as well as the lyrics, and the diversity of it, of the arrangements. I mean, it's fantastic. Just great composing. Verse 3 is only 4 verses. Forever blue because you love her, but she doesn't love you. You did your best. Life did the rest. You're left forever blue. I just thought that was a great little verse there. Probably staying with the heartbreak with the next song, because we got There She Goes. There She Goes, a little more country tinged there. Enjoyed that one. You know, basically the story is kind of the same. He's watching her and she's with other guys. He doesn't need anybody else. There she goes. So he's just seeing her everywhere, whether he's really seeing her sometimes or just in his mind, but everywhere he looks, there she is. So really well done there. Once again, I don't think much is changing. Going Nowhere. All right, Going Nowhere. Love the composition there. Gets that steel pedal in some of these songs where it's not overwhelming. It's not what you would get in a true country song, but it brings this texture to it that just is really nice, right? The soundscape is great. This one's a little different, right? He's not heartbroken here. He's actually telling the girl she looks like the type that's going nowhere. Like the clothes, like the tan, like the way you shake it. You're the kind of girl I can tell you make it. You're the kind of girl I can tell you're going nowhere. You're going nowhere. So in the chorus, to take a ride with me now, baby, hop inside and maybe, baby, we can find a way to make it all okay. Hey, so a much different type of song, but I thought it was good. Except we have Changed Your Mind. Changed Your Mind. So she was kind of probably professed her undying love to Chris, and then she changed her mind. The soundscape on this one, a little more haunting, a little more pained. I definitely enjoyed that one. I mean, I'm a broken record on every one of these songs. There's similarities sometimes in content, but the arrangement is changed up throughout it. I mean, it never seems like you're hearing the same song. Next up, we have Shadows in a Mirror. Shadows in a Mirror. Very country for a little while, but then almost a little bit of Latin flavor in there with some of the interesting soundscapes on there. But Shadows in a Mirror tells him he's wrong. He thought that they were going to be together, and the shadows in the mirror tell him it's wrong. Maybe she's heartbroken like he is, but got a little Roy Orbison, a little run there. It's been a little while before we hit that high register, but yeah, another solid effort. We still got 2 songs left. Next up, we got I Believe. I Believe. Loved the soundscape on this one. I believe the stars keep shining all through the night. I believe if we just keep trying, it will be all right. I believe that someday we're going to find our way, and I believe in a beautiful day. So I like the way it's written, right? It's more upbeat. You're like, yeah, I believe in lovers walking side by side. I believe that someday we'll be satisfied. I believe the angels listen, God hears us pray, and I believe in a beautiful day. Yeah, I believe it's going to work out okay. And you're like, all right, Chris, like towards the end of the album, man, Chris is feeling good, but then we get, but not for me and not for you. I believe there's an answer waiting when the day is done. I believe if you just keep searching, you'll find someone. I believe that you and I just lost our way, and I believe in a beautiful day. I still believe in a beautiful day, but not for me and not for you. I know you tried, and I tried too. Sometimes all our dreams just don't come true. I mean, very true. Like we did everything we could do. So not a total downer of a song. And I like downers of a song, but just well done. And our final track has a perfect name. It's The End of Everything. All right, The End of Everything. This one definitely didn't turn out well for Chris. Country tune all the way through on this one as far as the arrangement. And he starts out with the chorus, right? There's not much in the verses, right? This is the end of everything. This is the end, I know. This is the end of everything. Take your love with you when you go. This is the end of happiness. This is the end, dreams. This is the end of everything. It's the end for you and me. And then I don't know what to do in my heart. I still love you. I don't know what to say. I will always feel this way. This is the end of everything. This is the end I know. This is the end of everything. Take your love with you when you go. Oh, that's the whole song. But I like the way he draws it out, right? He draws it out over 3 minutes. And it just it sums up this album very well and kind of the sentiment on this album, which is going to bring me to my favorite tracks. Now, this album is interesting because it's 13 songs. It's only 39 minutes. Like I said, the song lengths are just fantastic, man. You just get a smorgasbord of different things. But it's tough picking my faves because the number one thing I would say about this album is it's consistent. And I don't want to get ahead of myself on what I'm going to rate this album. But it's incredibly, incredibly consistent. Like there wasn't a song I disliked. There were a couple that I thought were a little bit weaker, but not that were bad or even, below average. So it's incredibly consistent, which makes it hard to pick faves because I think 3 songs are probably a notch above all the rest of them, but they're all just right there. So my faves are going to be, or my honorable mentions are going to be Going Nowhere and I Believe. My faves are going to be Baby Did a Bad Thing, Somebody's Crying, and Graduation Day. The first 3 on here, but like there isn't a bad song on here. So that's going to bring me to my overall score. And it's always interesting trying to score albums that don't have huge highs and huge lows because you just kind of don't know what to do with them. I just think this was so well done all the way around, right? The writing on it, Chris is a fantastic writer, but I think he's an even better composer, right? The arrangements are just fantastic, all different kinds of things. And I got to give a shout out to everybody. Roland Sowie on bass and backup vocals, Kenny Dale Johnson on drums and vocals, Bruce Caffin on pedal steel guitar, comes into several songs, even sometimes just for 10 seconds, right? Jimmy Pugh on that Hammond organ, Johnny Reno on sax vocals, and then Jeff Watson's the lead guitar, and Greg Araguen is also on guitar, and Chris is also on guitar. So a lot of guitar on this album in different tones, right? Between the electric, you got the steel pedal, you got the acoustic. You just got a lot of different things going on here, but all of it works. It sounds like an album from front to back, right? The whole thing sounds like it goes together because sometimes you'll listen to an album and go, man, it seems like they just threw these 4 songs on. They don't really go. It just flows nicely. Somebody did a number on Chris, or he's fantastic tapping into his emotional response, right? Because I think to write songs like this, somebody had to hurt you somewhere, but just fantastic. I would not recommend listening to this album very much if you just went through a heartbreak or in the middle of one because it's going to bring you down. But I don't think songs about lost love are necessarily depressing or bad. Like I think this thing was just so well done. So my overall score on this, it's got to be an 8 out of 10, right? Which is a really high score. I mean, there's just nothing bad on here. And I'm going to listen to this album again. And it really showed me, I'm glad Robert brought it because it really showed me Chris Isaak's talent. I had no idea, man. Like I said, I always seemed like a cool guy, a nice guy. But I didn't really know any of his music besides Wicked Game, maybe a couple other little things here and there. But very, very talented. I know he hails from Stockton, California, right near Robert's neck of the woods. So a great suggestion. So let me know what you think of this, guys. What else should I check out from Chris Isaak? And until next time, guys, I will see you.